The NWEA MAP test can feel confusing because it does not work like a regular school test. The questions change while you take it. The score is not a percentage, and seeing harder questions does not automatically mean you are doing badly. In this video, I'll explain what the MAP test measures, how the adaptive format works, what RIT scores mean, and how to prepare without wasting time on the wrong things. I'll also show you how to choose the right grade level practice after this one. The MAP growth test is an online assessment used by many schools to measure student achievement and academic growth. MAP stands for Measures of Academic Progress. Students often take it during the school year, usually in 3 testing windows: fall, winter, and spring. The test covers math, reading, language usage, and sometimes science, depending on the school. The main goal is not to give a regular classroom grade. The goal is to help teachers understand what a student is ready to learn next. That means MAP results can help answer practical questions. Which subjects are strongest? Which skills need more support? Is the student growing over time? And what should they practice before the next testing term? The most important thing to understand is that MAP is adaptive. That means the test adjusts while the student is taking it. If a student answers correctly, the next question may become harder. If a student answers incorrectly, the next question may become easier. This is why 2 students in the same class may not see the same questions. One student may get questions below grade level. Another student may get questions above grade level. That is not a mistake. The test is trying to find the student's instructional level, the level where the questions are challenging but still possible. So if a student sees a question that feels difficult or unfamiliar, that does not mean they are failing. It may simply mean the test is trying to find the upper edge of what they are ready to handle. There are a few things students should know before test day. First, MAP is untimed. Students should work carefully and not rush. Second, every question must be answered before moving forward. Third, after clicking Next, students cannot go back and change their answer. So the best habit is, read the full question, look at all the answer choices, check your answer, then click Next. In some math questions, a calculator or another tool may appear on screen. If a tool appears, students are allowed to use it. If a question feels unfamiliar, do not freeze. Read it again. Cross out answers that are clearly wrong. Then choose the best option from what remains. Students do not need to get every question correct. The goal is to give a strong effort on each question so the test can measure their level accurately. After the test, students receive a RIT score. A RIT score is not a percentage. It is not a letter grade. It is not the number of questions the student got right. A RIT score is a scale score that shows the student's instructional level. You can think of it like a ruler for academic growth. The scale stays consistent across grades, so teachers can compare progress from one testing season to the next. Here is the simplest way to understand it. The RIT score shows the level at which the student is currently learning. It not only shows what the student has already mastered, it helps teachers see which skills are strong, which skills are still developing, and what the student may be ready to learn next. That is why MAP scores are most useful when you look at them over time. One score gives a snapshot. Several scores show the growth pattern. To see average RIT scores by grade level, check the MAP scores page on GiftedReady. I added a link to the MAP scores page in the video description. One of the most common questions is, what is a good MAP score? The honest answer is, it depends. A MAP score depends on the student's grade, subject, testing season, previous scores, and growth over time. There is also no perfect MAP score. MAP does not work like a regular test where the goal is 100%. Because the test adapts, the score depends on 2 things: how many questions the student answers correctly, and how difficult those questions are. A high score can show strong achievement, but growth matters too. A student who improves from one testing term to the next is showing progress, even if the score is not at the very top. So instead of asking only, is this score good? Ask, is the student growing? Which subjects are strongest? Where are the biggest gaps? What should the student practice next? That is the real value of MAP results. For parents, the MAP score report can be useful if you know where to focus. Start with the subject scores. A student may be strong in reading but need support in math. Or they may do well in math but need more practice with grammar, writing, or language usage. Next, look at growth over time. One score does not tell the full story. A fall score, winter score, and spring score together give a clearer picture. Then look for skill areas. The most useful question is not only, what was the score? It is, which specific skills caused the score? That is where teachers can often help. They may be able to explain whether the student needs support with fractions, algebra, vocabulary, reading evidence, punctuation, or another skill area. Some schools also use MAP results for learning groups, academic support, advanced classes, gifted programs, or placement decisions. Not every school uses MAP in the same way, but the report can still help you understand what to strengthen next. If this video is helping you understand the MAP test more clearly, please like it and subscribe. It helps support the channel and allows us to keep creating practical test prep videos for students and parents. Now let's continue with what students should actually do before and during the test. For students, the biggest mistake is treating MAP like a regular test, where every question should feel familiar. It will not. Some questions may feel easy, some may feel just right, some may feel too hard. That is part of the adaptive format. The best strategy is to stay steady. Do not rush just because the test is on a computer. Read the full question. Pay attention to words like most likely, best, not, except, or which statement is true. Those small words can change the answer. Before clicking next, check that your answer matches exactly what the question asked. Once you move on, you cannot go back. If you do not know an answer, do not panic. Eliminate choices that clearly do not work. Then make your best choice and keep going. One hard question does not define the whole test. To prepare effectively, do not only practice random questions. Practice the skills behind the questions. For math, focus on the topics that match your grade level. That may include operations, algebra, geometry, measurement, data, statistics, probability, or multi-step word problems. For reading, practice vocabulary and context, main idea, text evidence, author's purpose, literary analysis, and informational texts. For language usage, review grammar, punctuation, sentence structure, paragraph organization, editing, and revision. For science, if your school includes it, practice reading diagrams, interpreting data, and applying science concepts. But the most important part is what you do after each practice question. Do not just check the answer and move on. Ask, why is this answer correct? Why are the other choices wrong? What clue did I miss? Was this a content mistake, a reading mistake, or a careless mistake? That is how practice turns into improvement. Because MAP is adaptive, students may see questions below, at, or above their grade level. That means preparation should not be too narrow, but grade-level practice is still the best starting point. It helps students understand the question style, difficulty range, and skills commonly expected for their grade. In the description of this video, I added links to grade-specific MAP practice videos and practice tests. Each one walks through sample questions and explanations for that grade level. So after this overview, choose the video or practice test that matches your grade and continue with targeted preparation. Let's quickly clear up a few common MAP test myths. Myth number 1. Hard questions mean I am doing badly. Not necessarily. Hard questions are normal on an adaptive test. They may mean the test is trying to find your upper skill level. Myth number 2. A MAP score is the same as a classroom grade. No. A classroom grade measures performance in a specific class. A MAP score measures instructional level and growth. They are connected, but they are not the same thing. Myth number 3. Memorizing answers is the best way to prepare. No. MAP questions change by subject, level, and student performance. The better strategy is to strengthen the skills behind the questions. Myth number 4. One score tells the whole story. No, one score is only a snapshot. Growth over time gives a much better picture of progress. Before test day, keep it simple. Get enough sleep. Do not try to cram everything at the last minute. During the test, read carefully. Use the tools when they appear. Check your answer before clicking next. And remember, You do not need to get every question right. The goal is to do your best and let the test show what you are ready to learn. Stay calm, keep working, and focus on one question at a time. That brings us to the end of this MAP test overview. If you found it useful, please give the video a like and subscribe to support the channel. To continue preparing, check the description for links to the grade-level MAP practice videos and practice tests. For more support, visit GiftedReady and explore our complete MAP preparation resources. Thanks for watching, and good luck on the test.